Okay, if you are in Math 8, you are working from the Course 3 book. If you are in 7 Advanced or 7 Excel, you are working in the Advanced 2 book. We are still on lesson 1.2, example 4, page 13. So basically, real life application just means word problems. We're going to be doing word problems. So the first word problem we're going to do, use the table to find the number of miles, X, you need to run on Friday so that the mean, another word for mean is average, so that the average number of miles run per day is 1.5. Okay, now to find averages, I know that it's A plus B plus C plus D. However many numbers I have up here is what I'm dividing by. And that equals the average or the mean. Average and mean are the same thing. Okay? So however many numbers we have above, that's what we're dividing by. And then that equals our average or our mean. Same thing. So this table is telling us we've run 2 miles plus 0 miles plus 1.5 on Wednesday plus 0 on Thursday plus X on Friday. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So I want to divide by 5. And we want our average to be 1.5 miles per day. So the first thing I want to do, I want to combine my like terms. So 2 plus 0 plus 1.5 plus 0. 3.5 plus X over 5 equals 1.5. Okay, now I want to get rid of this denominator. I want to get rid of the fraction. So I want to get rid of this denominator. So to do that, I'm going to multiply this whole side by the reciprocal, by 5 or 5 over 1. 5 over 1 is implied. Now, what I do to one side, I must do to the other. So we can see that the 5's cancel. And I'm left with 3.5 plus X equals 1.5 times 5. Can you use a calculator for this? Yes. If you want to use a calculator for this, you are more than welcome to use a calculator. So 1.5 times 5 is 7.5. Now, I want to isolate my variable, which means I need to get rid of this positive 3.5. Well, to undo positive 3.5, I'm going to use negative 3.5. And what I do to one side, I must do to the other. So these guys cancel, and I'm left with positive X equals, I have a positive and a negative, so I'm subtracting. 7.5 minus 3.5 is 4, and I keep the sign of my largest number. So X equals 4. Now remember, A word problem dictates a word answer. So what does this for mean? We need to run 4 miles on Friday. So our daily average will be 1.5. Okay. Now I've got some good questions. Where did the 5 come from? Where did this 5 come from? Or this 5, where did this 5 come from? This 5 came from the number of numbers I have up here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I have 5 days. I have 5 numbers up above. That's why I'm dividing by 5. So I'm dividing by 5. And then to get rid of divided by 5, I need to use the inverse, which is multiply by 5. Okay. So up here, I had 4 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 4 numbers, so I divided by 4. Here I have 5 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So I divide by 5. Okay. Does that answer your question? Where did the 5 come from? Okay, great. Let's do another problem. Okay. You scored 88, 92, and 87 on 3 tests. Write and solve an equation to find the score you need on the 4th test so that your mean or average test score is 90. Okay, so I have 4 tests. 1, 2, 3, 4. So because I have 4 tests, I'm going to divide by 4. And this will give us our average or our mean. So now we need to plug these test scores in. 88 plus 92 plus 87. We need to know what we need to get for our 4th test. What do we need to get for our 4th test to have an average of 90? That's what this is asking us. So what do we need to get on the 4th test to have an average of 90? Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is combine my like terms. So 88 plus 92 plus 87. If you need to use a calculator, you are more than welcome to use a calculator. But 92 and 88 is 180, plus 87 is 267, plus D, all over 4 equals 90. Now, I want to get rid of this fraction. I want to get rid of the denominator. It's too hard to work with fractions. So let's get rid of this denominator. We want to get rid of this denominator. So to do that, I'm going to multiply this whole thing by 4. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. So my 4's cancel, because 4 divided by 4 is 1. So my 4's cancel. And I've got 267 plus D equals 90 times 4, 360. Now this should look like a problem we did last week. We need to isolate this variable. So I need to get rid of or undo this positive 267. So to undo positive 267, I'm going to subtract 267. And what we do to one side, we must do to the other. So these guys cancel, and I'm left with D equals, I have a positive and a negative, so I'm going to subtract. So D equals 93. But this was a word problem. And a word problem dictates a word answer. So what is 93? 93 is the score I need on the 4th test so that my average test score is 90. So I need 93 on the 4th test so that my average test score is 90. Okay, if you've got questions, now's a good time to ask me. Give me a thumbs up if we're doing okay so far. Okay, looks good. I want to do one more of these with you. One more. Okay. The theater. How many people must attend the 3rd show so that the average attendance per show is 3,000? So we have 1, 2, 3. We are going to have 1, 2, 3 shows. Because we have 3 shows, we're going to divide by 3. And we want our average attendance to be this will give us our average or our mean. So now we start plugging in numbers. 2,580. 2,580 plus 2,920. 2,920 plus C, this is what we need to know. We're dividing by 3, and we want an average of 3,000. So the first thing I need to do, combine my like terms. So if you want to use a calculator for this, you are more than welcome to use a calculator for this. I am. So combine like terms, this is 5,500 plus C divided by 3 equals 3,000. Now I want to get rid of this denominator. So to do that, I'm going to multiply this whole thing by 3. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. So my 3's cancel because 3 divided by 3 is 1. And I'm left with 5,500 plus C equals 3,000 times 3 is 9,000. Now I want to isolate my variable. So I need to undo this positive 5,500. So I'm going to subtract 5,500. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. So these cancel and I'm left with C equals 9,000 minus 5,500 equals 3,500. So a word problem dictates a word answer. What does this 3,500 mean? How many people must attend the third show so that the average attendance per show is 3,000? So 3,500 people need to attend the third show. So the average is 3,000. Remember, a word problem dictates a word answer.